Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the HR Minister, the show where faith meets people strategy and leadership is anchored in purpose. So today's episode is for our heroes, our veterans, and the business and HR leaders who want to serve them well. I'll share a little bit about me here. So I grew up as an Army brat, and that is the name that's given to military dependents or kids of military parents. Military brats see firsthand what our military parent experiences, their loyalty, and their sacrifices to our country. So my dad retired from the U.S. Army after serving tours in numerous countries around the world and entered service during the Vietnam War. And my spouse served in the U.S. Army during Desert Storm. So from the perspective of a dependent and a spouse, I saw what that transition looked like, going from military service to being a civilian and hoping that your skills would translate to an honorable civilian career, or at least be able to make a living wage in supporting your family. I remember my dad, after the age of 50, starting over. It was really tough to see that. And there were some job rejections, and he kept trying and trying until he finally found an employer that understood veterans and even supported their career transitions. But I can tell you that there were some serious sleepless nights and even some questions about how the bills would get paid. So for the past 30 years, I've served veterans as a human resources professional and entrepreneur by actively recruiting them and supporting their onboarding and organizational development journeys. And I'll be even more candid. I've been in boardrooms where conversations were held, right, where folks expressed doubt at hiring a particular veteran. And, they would say, would they be too rigid? Would they be too this and too that? And sometimes it is an uphill battle, no pun intended here, to help the non-military understand the immense skills that a veteran brings to an organization. So with your help, just by listening to this show today, we can make a huge difference together. And for that, I thank you very much for listening today. And in addition, we offer an annual career and community services fair that reaches out to this particular group, our veterans, to help connect them with education, social services, health resources, and career and veteran resources. Feel free to reach out to me on hr911.org for more information. Our next event will be on April 15th, 2026. So all of that to say, the transition from military service to civilian work isn't always smooth. But with the right support, tools, and understanding, it can be powerful, even transformative. So today I'm speaking really to two audiences, to veterans who are ready to step into their next mission, and to the HR leaders and employers who have the honor and responsibility to support them well. So here in a moment, we're going to talk about career transition tips, what benefits are available, how organizations can become veteran ready, and I'll share one big tip for landing a role that truly fits. So for our veterans, you are not starting over. Let's start with a word for our veterans, right? You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from strength. The military gave you mission focus, discipline, leadership under pressure, team collaboration, and critical decision-making skills. Those are not just soft skills. Those are leadership gold. But I know that translating those skills into a resume or a civilian interview can feel like speaking another language. But here's the good news. You do not have to do it alone. So next, I'd like to talk about some resources for workplace readiness and career growth. And here are some amazing resources where veterans can gain career support, develop workplace readiness skills, or pursue education. So under job search and career readiness, here's a few resources for you. There's Hiring Our Heroes, and their website is hiringourheroes.org. It's a U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation initiative that connects veterans, transitioning service members, and military spouses with employers through job fairs and fellowship programs. There's also Recruit Military, which the website is called recruitmilitary.com. They offer job boards, career expos, and resume tools for veterans across the United States. In fact, this group also partners with a lot of bases to host job fairs just for the service members that are about to get out of the service. And then there's also the Texas Veterans Commission Employment Services. That would be tvc.texas.gov. So if you're in Texas, this commission provides dedicated veteran career advisors and connects you with jobs statewide. There's also American Job Centers, and that website is careeronestop.org. So every state has centers that offers veteran employment representatives who are trained to help with job searches, applications, and the transitioning process. And now there's a part under education and skills training. Here's a few resources for you as well. So there's, of course, the Veteran Readiness and Employment part, the VR&E. This was, of course, formerly known as Chapter 31. This VA program offers career counseling, resume development, job training, and education assistance for vets with service-connected disabilities. There's Coursera for veterans, and let me spell that for you. It's Courera. And many veterans can access free or discounted online courses in tech, business, and leadership through partnership with organizations like Coursera and IBM Skills Build. There's also LinkedIn for veterans. You can just Google that. It's a free 1-year premium membership, including access to LinkedIn Learning to build skills and grow your professional network. And then for my Texas veterans, here's something that not everyone seems to know about. It's called the Hazelwood Act. And that's HAZLEWOOD Act. And it's for those of you that enlisted in Texas. So the Hazelwood Act provides up to 150 hours of tuition exemption, so free college, at Texas public colleges and universities for eligible veterans, spouses, and children. Again, it's tuition free. To qualify, you must have entered military service in Texas or claim Texas as your home of record. You must have received an honorable discharge, and you must have not already used your federal GI Bill benefits for the same hours. And a lot of times, a lot of the community colleges especially have a military representative, a rep, on site at the colleges that can help you with this process. A lot of the times it just starts with your DD-214. So more information is at Hazelwood, HAZLEWOOD.tvc.texas.gov. It really is a hidden gem. So next, we'll be talking about HR's role in creating veteran-ready workplaces. So to my fellow HR leaders, what can you do? A veteran-ready workplace, of course, isn't just one that hires veterans. It's one that understands them and supports them. So here are some ideas of how you can do that. You can train hiring managers. You can help educate them on military ranks, terminology, and those transferable skills. So for example, a platoon leader could be your next operations manager. You could revise your job descriptions. So you may want to avoid jargon that veterans may not recognize. Use skill-based language and highlight openness to diverse backgrounds. Consider creating a veteran affinity group. So let veterans connect and support each other. Invite them to share their perspectives to improve onboarding and retention. You could offer structure in the onboarding process. Remember, veterans are used to protocols and clarity, and a well-structured 90-day plan will help them thrive. You could celebrate their service, and I know a lot of you do. You could acknowledge Veterans Day. You could feature veteran stories, right? So just give them a voice and not just the welcome packet or donuts on Veterans Day. A lot of them need a lot more. You can also connect with a city or state veterans office. You could have them come in to speak with your veterans and just remind them of their benefits and services available to them. You could even help them through one of those agencies, help them get registered with the VA. Even a 10% discount at Lowe's and Home Depot can really mean a lot to a veteran. And surprisingly, there's so many veterans out there that are not aware of these services. So anything you do to support them and connect them with the services and benefits really that they worked hard to get would really mean a lot to them. So next we're going to talk about the one job search tip, a mission match. So my one big tip for my veterans transitioning into the workplace: don't just look for a job. You're looking for your next mission. Here's what we mean. So ask yourself, what kind of work fuels me? What environments help me thrive? What values do I want my employer to hold? Oftentimes I see folks just put their resume onto an online job board and then just kind of click around to any job that's open. But it's okay to do some research on those companies. You can even just do basically a Google search and just say what companies in my city are veteran friendly. It can be just as simple as that, and then start applying to those places. You didn't just serve, right, for a paycheck. You served for a purpose. So your civilian career should reflect that same intentionality. Conduct informational interviews. Practice telling your story in civilian language. And lean on your network because connection still drives opportunity. So if you happen to know some folks that maybe work in human resources or even family members that will be willing to give you some good feedback, practice with those folks and how you want to explain yourself or market yourself in an interview. And if you don't quite have that, it sounds a little weird, but even just talking to yourself and looking at yourself in a mirror and practicing and looking at how it looks like, what you sound like can make a huge difference. Preparation really is key. And it is okay to use AI or Chat GPT, those types of services to fine tune the wording for your resume or even preparing your elevator speech for an interview. So here's some final thoughts, right? So you're going to be in a different uniform, but the same calling. So to all of our veterans, you wore the uniform, you served your country, and now it's time to serve your purpose in the workplace, in your community, and your next season. And to our HR professionals, employers, let's be the bridge. Let's honor their sacrifice with action. Let's move from appreciation to access, and let's help connect them to resources and to careers. You never know. The leader your team needs may just be a veteran in transition. So as we start closing this out here today, thank you so much for spending time with me today on the HR Minister. Feel free to reach out to me at info@humanresources911.org or at hr911.org. I'd be happy to share these resources with you. And if our message is connecting with you, please follow us on the various podcast channels and give us a like, share, and all of the social media stuff. It really helps to build our show and a following, and we really, really do appreciate you. So let's continue to build right workplaces that work for people, especially those who've given so much. So until next time, lead with heart, serve with courage, take care of your people. And as I always say, one life, your life, take really good care of yourselves. Thank you.